The situation around Melody Shari and her Patreon has now reached a point where it cannot be ignored or brushed off as simple online drama. What we are seeing is something much deeper, something that connects to control, power, and how stories are told in the public eye. When Melody decided to launch her Patreon, it was not just about creating another platform, it was about taking ownership of her voice in a way that she had not fully been able to before. For years, her story was shown through a filtered lens, shaped by editing, production choices, and group dynamics. But now, with her own platform, she has the ability to speak directly, without interruption, without edits, and without anyone controlling how her words are presented. That alone changes everything. When her Patreon was suddenly reported and placed under review, it immediately raised questions. This was not a random situation. Platforms do not just get flagged without someone taking action. Someone had to go out of their way to report it. And when you look at the timing, it becomes even more interesting. This happened right after Melody began sharing more exclusive content, and also after she showed public support for Sedora. That connection is important because it shows that Melody is not just speaking about her own life anymore, she's connecting her experiences to others, and that creates a bigger conversation that goes beyond just one person. Melody speaking out in support of Drew was not just a simple message, it carried weight. It came from a place of experience. She made it clear that even after divorce, issues do not always end. That statement alone changes how people see her story. It suggests that there is more going on behind the scenes than what has been shown publicly. And when people hear that, especially fans who have been following her journey for years, they start to question everything. They start to wonder what else has not been said. They start to look at past situations differently. That kind of shift can make people uncomfortable. When a narrative that people have believed for a long time starts to change, reactions are expected. Some people become more supportive, while others become more critical. But in this case, the reaction went beyond opinions. It turned into action. Reporting her Patreon was not just criticism, it was an attempt to interfere with what she was building. And that brings up an important question. Who benefits from stopping her from speaking freely? When you think about it, Patreon is very different from other platforms. It is private, it is controlled, it is not easily accessible to everyone. And that means the content shared there cannot be easily taken, reposted, or used by others without permission. Melody made it very clear that she would not allow people to screen record or share her content without consent. That changes the entire dynamic. For people who may have been used to discussing or using her content freely, that access is now gone. And when access is removed, frustration can grow. It is also important to look at the role of Martell Holt in all of this. Melody has made it known that she is still dealing with issues connected to that relationship. That means the story is not fully in the past, it is still ongoing. And when she starts to speak more openly, especially on a platform she fully controls, it creates uncertainty for others who are part of that story. People start to wonder what might be said next. They start to think about how it could affect public perception. This is where things become even more complex, because this is not just about one person or one platform. It is about how power shifts when someone decides to take control of their own narrative. For a long time, Melody was part of a system where her story was told alongside others. There were always multiple voices, multiple opinions, and multiple perspectives shaping what viewers saw. But now, she is stepping outside of that system. She is creating her own space. And that kind of independence can be difficult for some people to accept. The audience also plays a major role in the situation. People today are not just watching content, they are reacting, commenting, and sometimes even influencing what happens next. The reaction to Melody's Patreon was strong. Some people questioned the pricing, others questioned the exclusivity. But when you look closely, the intensity of the reaction feels bigger than just those issues. There are many creators who use similar platforms, and they do not receive the same level of backlash. So clearly, something else is at play here. Melody's response to the situation is also very telling. She did not panic. She did not step back. Instead, she addressed it, showed that her platform was reviewed and cleared, and continued moving forward. That kind of confidence suggests that she expected resistance. It shows that she understands the environment she is in. And more importantly, it shows that she is not easily shaken. This situation also highlights a bigger pattern that exists in reality television. Shows like Love and Marriage Huntsville are built on storytelling, but that storytelling is not always complete. There are always things that happen behind the scenes that viewers do not see. There are always decisions made about what to show and what to leave out. And when someone from that environment decides to speak independently, it can reveal parts of the story that were never shown. Melody working with a platform like Patreon allows her to fill in those gaps. It allows her to share her perspective fully, and that can change how people view everything that has happened in the past. It can confirm some beliefs and challenge others, but either way, it adds depth to the conversation. Another important point to consider is how people react when they feel like they are losing control. Control does not always have to be obvious. Sometimes it exists in subtle ways, like controlling how a story is told or how information is shared. When that control is taken away, reactions can become stronger. Reporting her Patreon could be seen as an attempt to regain some of that control. Whether it was successful or not, the intention behind it is what matters. Melody continuing to create content despite the setback sends a strong message. It shows that she's focused on her goals. It shows that she's not going to stop just because someone tried to interfere. And that kind of determination can inspire others who are watching her journey. There is also a lesson here about resilience. In any public space, there will always be challenges. There will always be people who disagree, who criticize, or who try to create obstacles. But how someone responds to those challenges often defines their path. Melody's response shows strength, it shows focus, and it shows a clear understanding of what she wants to achieve. As this situation continues to develop, it is likely that more questions will come up. People will continue to analyze her content, they will continue to speculate about what might be revealed next, and they will continue to form opinions based on what they see and hear. That is the nature of public life. But one thing is clear. This is not just about a Patreon being reported. It is about a shift in power. It is about someone taking control of their own story. And it is about the reactions that come with that kind of change. Melody has created a space where she can speak freely, connect directly with her audience, and share her experiences without filters. That is something that many people aim for, but do not always achieve. And now that she has it, the way people respond to her will continue to evolve. At the end of the day, this situation reminds us that stories are not always as simple as they seem. There are always layers, always perspectives, and always unseen factors that influence what we see. Melody stepping into her own space allows those layers to come forward, and as they do, the conversation will only grow deeper. The question now is not whether her Patreon is worth the hype. The real question is what impact it will have moving forward, because if this is just the beginning, then there is much more to come. And based on everything we have seen so far, Melody is not slowing down anytime soon. As this situation continues to unfold, the focus begins to shift from the incident itself to what it represents in the bigger picture. Melody Shari moving forward after her Patreon was reported is not just about resilience. It is about direction. It shows that she already has a clear plan and that this platform is only one part of a larger strategy. When someone continues without hesitation after facing interference, it often means they were prepared for challenges from the beginning. That preparation makes a difference because it removes fear from the process. What makes this moment even more important is how it connects to everything Melody has been building over time. Her journey has not been limited to television. She has created businesses, built a personal brand, and developed a strong connection with her audience. Patreon is simply another extension of that. It gives her a space where she can control the message, the timing, and the level of detail she shares. And when someone controls all those elements, they also control how their story is understood. There is also something else happening here that people are starting to notice. The more someone tries to block or limit access to a platform, the more attention it gets. When Melody's Patreon was reported, it did not silence the conversation. Instead, it amplified it. More people started talking about it, more people became curious, and in many cases, curiosity leads to support. This is something that happens often in public spaces. Attempts to stop something can sometimes give it even more visibility. Another key part of this situation is trust. Melody has built trust with her audience over time. That trust comes from consistency, from sharing her experiences, and from standing firm in her position even when things get difficult. When people trust a creator, they are more likely to support them, especially when they feel that creator is being treated unfairly. So when her platform was reported and then cleared, it reinforced that trust even more. It showed that there was no real violation and that the attempt to stop her did not succeed.